Bienvenidos al Mr. Franquicia Podcast, el podcast en español número 1 en el mundo maravilloso de las franquicias, conducido por su servidor Rafael Álvarez. Estamos en vivo desde el piso 85 del One World Trade Center desde la ciudad de Nueva York. Así que prepárese, que el programa va a comenzar. Saludos, saludos, saludos. Greetings. Here we are once again, another podcast. This is very exciting. This one is a good one for sure. We're live from the 85th floor of the One World Trade Center. And today we have, I would consider him a good friend of mine because we know each other for quite a while in the franchising industry. But his name is Patrick Findaro. Patrick, he's a podcaster. He's been very heavily involved in the franchising industry. He's doing a lot of great stuff that we're going to talk about it. But specifically, the main topic of this podcast is how to buy a franchise in 12 weeks. This is the book that Patrick just released a few weeks ago. And we are very happy and excited to have you, Patrick. Welcome to our Mr. Franquicia podcast, my friend. Welcome.
Rafael, thanks so much. So you're live in New York City. I'm live in Miami Beach. Really, thanks a lot for having me on. Your number one podcast for the Spanish Latino community and in the franchising space.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy and excited to have you as a guest here today. Before we start talking about your book, I mean, I know that you were being very busy. Your brother, your team. You have an awesome team. Why don't you tell us about who is Patrick Findaro? I mean, where were you born? Were you for some reason at the beginning? I thought that you were Argentinian at the beginning. Then I said, wait a minute. When I read your
with the hair, and we have all these Argentines at our company.
I know, but tell us, where were you born? And
so I was born in Washington D.C. Both my parents are actually from New York, and I went to college up in Maine, Colby College. Spent some time in Brazil, a whole year in Brazil.
So you speak Portuguese?
Sí, falo portugués,
Oh.
un poco de español, francés.
Oh, qué bien, qué bien.
I speak 4 languages, but none of them really good, including English. But after Colby, I got a job at JP Morgan working on the Latin American desk, all different types of loans for
Here in New York?
Here in New York. Yeah, it was on Park Avenue at their headquarters.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, my God. So you used to be a resident here in New York City?
Yeah, so I lived in New York almost 2 years.
2 years.
And then some internships as well at Bank of New York Mellon, interned there a couple of times, and almost 2 years after college. I love New York, but I'm more laid back, chill personality, and Miami Beach was a better fit for me. So I discovered Miami 11 years ago, moved here March 2012. So It's been, almost 11 years in Miami.
Wow, very interesting. No, Miami is very Latin American. Let's put it like that, right? So how do you connect it with the franchising industry? I know. So you went started working in Chase in banking, I guess financial industry, and then from there you went straight to franchising, or you end up?
Yeah, great question. So one of my mentors, he's Dominican, Salvadoreño. He hired me to work at a company that was essentially selling data to emerging market executives. And we were covering Latin America out of the Miami office. So it was essentially leveraging all different types of data so people can make better decisions. Very large multinational companies, think Johnson and Johnson, all different types of consumer good companies. And from there, Rogelio left to start a private equity fund that would lend money to franchisees. So I left with him, and I was at that fund for a year and a half. And my brother worked at Restaurant Brands International. So the parent company of Burger King, Tim Hortons, Firehouse Subs, and Popeyes.
Mhm.
So he had even more franchising experience than me, but I started getting my feet wet in the franchising space,
Mhm.
and at the same time discovered this underutilized investor visa, the E2 investor visa,
Mhm.
where people from over 80 countries in the world can move to the US doing 100K investment and employing a couple Americans.
Wow.
So with that, we started Visa Franchise 8 years back. Majority of our clients are from Latin America. We have an office in Argentina with over 25 employees. But we've had clients from all over the world. So 60 plus countries at this moment.
So explain that whole process now that you just mentioned that you mentioned it. Let me show you guys the website of that particular business venture. Is this a company owned by you? I know I see your brother. Is that your brother in the picture?
Yeah, exactly. That's my brother. So we're the two owners of Visa Franchise. We started it in 2015 and then launched officially in 2016. And for an upfront fee, foreign nationals that want to move here engage us, and we're able to analyze any franchise for them to see if it'd be a good fit for their career goals, as well as meeting their requirements, working alongside their immigration attorney for the E2 visa.
So you have
So
the whole setup, the whole system. So you have the attorneys, you have
we
the
have the
whole
attorneys. We've
process.
worked with 50 plus law firms over the years, 550 plus clients. So it's a very tight process where essentially in 12 weeks, similar to the book, you invest in a franchise and you apply for your E2 visa. Depending on consulate processing times, you're moving here a month later, up to 6 months later.
Wow. So yeah, I've been, I've been a franchisor for over 20 years. So I know a lot of attorneys have approached me with the same concept. But I always been confused because I thought that there was maybe there are different type of programs. I thought that they have to you said that the investment is only $100,000
100K for the E2 investor visa. There's about 40,000 of those visas every year.
every
There's
year.
also the EB5 visa, which has about 10,000, so a quarter of the number of approvals every year, and that one's right now at 800,000, and you have to generate 10 jobs.
So 800,000 people will have to invest 800,000 in any business, or how does it
In
work?
any business that's going to generate 10 US jobs. However, processing times are quite long for that visa, where it's taking 4+ years to get the temporary green card. There's ways that you can legally live and work in the US while you start that process.
Mhm.
But essentially, to get the initial green card, it's taking 4 years for that option. So we do have clients doing that. But the E2 visa is a nice bridge. You come here, and then there's a lot of different green card options. And very few of our clients are renewing their E2 visa because they're able to get a green card, or their spouse is able to get a green card through employment.
Correct. Wow, so that is like a niche for you guys. I mean, I know about the program, but never really saw somebody really so heavily involved in it. That's quite a lot of people, and I'm assuming with everything that is happening in Latin America, I'm assuming that you have a lot of people from Venezuela. Do you?
Venezuela was a big wave, like 2016 to 18. And what we're seeing now, we do have a lot of Venezuelans, but like they're living in Spain, living in Chile, living in Panama, living in Colombia.
Hmm.
So they made the first move somewhere else, and now they're coming to the States. So a lot of
Fantastic.
Venezuelans right now, that have Italian passports and other citizenship eligible for the E2 visa, as well as Colombianos, Argentinos.
Yeah, and let me ask you this: I are the people that really participate in this type of program. I'm assuming that you connect them with a business model. I'm assuming that those business models are franchise company. Do they really get embedded into those businesses? Do they really uh, they will really
I mean,
focus on this?
if you want to invest 80, 100K, you better. There's not enough margin for a day-to-day operator.
Correct.
So you're grinding it 40, 50, 60 hours a week for the first 2 years.
What kind
And
of
you're
brands are they investing or you
a lot of
connect them to?
service brands. So home services, property management. If you're willing to invest more capital, like 250K, 300K, sure, you can hire a day-to-day manager and maybe take over an existing franchise, a franchise resale.
Hmm.
But if you want to just come in with 80K, good luck trying not to work hard in it, because the business is not going to succeed.
Now, part of my lack of knowledge in this field, but I thought that for some reason that in order that there was a program that people have to invest about $1 million, and then the government will allow them to become a legal resident while they're here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is the same program or not?
So you have the EB-5 visa, which depending where you invest is 800,000 or 1,050,000. So I believe that's the program you're referring to. And
Mhm.
then the E2 investor visa, which most of our clients are applying for that visa category. There's no set minimum, but in practice, it's around the 100K mark. We've had approvals as low as 60,000, but most immigration attorneys are going to advise you to at least invest at least 100K, if not more.
So if people wants to participate and they want to be part of this program, what is the first step? What do they have to do? Let me also show your website so people can,
Yeah, no,
you
appreciate that,
know,
Rafael. The
yeah,
easiest is just shoot us a
assist.
message on WhatsApp or visit visafranchise.com. We have between our firm, I believe, 7 languages right now. Obviously, numerous Spanish speakers. I mentioned we have a pretty sizable presence in Argentina as well as other countries in Latin America. So the easiest is check out our website, and then you're interested in getting in touch, just shoot us a WhatsApp message, and you on the website you can just click on the schedule consultation today pop up.
Fantastic. Here are all the different services that you provide. You have a very well put together website. It's very
Thank you,
informative. I
appreciate
take a
that. And
look
we're
at it.
making even other adjustments so the services are that much clearer on exactly what we do and how we can help you.
Yeah. All right. So why don't now you tell us about the next company that you guys are running, which I found
Yeah,
very
so I
interesting.
split my time between the 2 firms. We have Vetted Biz, which I told you I'll give you access, Rafael. So,
Mhm.
any data you need to power your show or you finding guests that should help you out.
Go ahead.
Um, Vetted Biz was our offline database for Visa franchise. In 2019, we came up with the idea to just put everything online. And then in 2021, we started monetizing where we put up a paywall and
Mhm.
created a subscription service. So, there's 7,000 plus franchises that have tried to sell or have successfully sold to prospective franchisees. So we have FDDs every year, 1,500 or so FDDs, as well as SBA loan data, resale data, all different types of information to sift through before you reach out to the franchisor or reach out to the franchisee, as to not waste your time.
Wow. And you own this thing, all of that data? Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we have a super tight process, a 9-person data team where all different types of sources come in. We clean the data, we properly structure the data, and then we push it out onto the platform.
Well, I have a question for you that I've been trying to find an answer. Nobody really has it in the industry. I know that you're very knowledgeable in the industry, but
Yeah,
as you know, we're launching the Latino Franchise Association in about a week or so,
very cool.
and we're trying to find out where the Latinos in terms of franchising out of I don't know 4,000 franchise brand. How many Latinos own a brand? Do you have that number? I'm looking for how many
Well, I
Latino
mean,
right now owns
own
a
a brand
franchise
and
brand.
also
Own a brand.
executives. So, there's a lot of executives, CEO level of the top 50 brands that are Latino.
So you have that data, do you? And what about franchisees also?
Franchisees, we could probably we have information over contact information on over 60,000. Well, for about 300,000 locations, we have information, at least some information on who the owner is.
Mhm,
And I'm sure like doing a search, like based on like the 100 most common
mhm,
last names of Latinos or the
mhm, mhm.
1,000 most common last names of Latinos, you could figure out kind of like a rough idea. And some of those might be Filipino, and then you're gonna have to say, "Oh, sorry, I saw you had a Spanish surname." But we don't have any. There's no way that we're currently like marking if they're Latino or if they're
I
not Latino right now.
I totally understand, and that's part of for me. That's part of the problem that we're trying to
Yeah.
find a solution, and I get it. At the end of the day, we need to start somewhere. The idea is to, for me, or for the association, is to find out how many Latino brand owners were in 2022, how many franchisees. We just want to know that, and then from there, The goal is to promote franchising, to attract a lot more Latino to invest in the franchising industry, to convert their successful business model into a franchising business model. And those that don't have a business, if they want to invest, to buy any type of franchising company or program that is available there. So right now we need to know where we at in 2022, where we're gonna be in 2023, where we're gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the future. How many? I'm assuming, to be honest with you, I'm assuming that there is less than 1% of Latino that own a franchise brand, based on what I know. And you correct me if I am wrong. 1% of
Own the
about,
franchise brand. You know, a lot
you
of
know
times
that
there's multiple owners. I'd be willing to bet that at least one of the owners, if one of the owners is Latino, I'd bet it's like closer to 5%.
oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. So
I
I
mean,
would like
looking
to.
at the franchises that are based here in South Florida, there's
Uh-huh.
a lot of brands that, you know, the parents came from Venezuela or the parents came from Argentina or
Uh-huh.
even Puerto Ricans. So, yeah, it's something that we could definitely help you out with and kind of have a collaborative study on.
Oh yeah, I would like to then let's talk of the offline so we can
Yeah.
embrace on that, because that data is really needed, and the goal is, I'm sure that you have the same goal, is to promote franchising, to bring more people into the industry. As you know, Latinos are the ethnic group that open up more businesses in the United States. So the idea is for them to now understand it, because I know that many of them don't get it. They Latinos sometimes prefer to fail by trying their own businesses than invest in a
And you see
successful.
that a lot in Miami, where we see it's oftentimes like an Argentine selling an Argentine on a business, like a trucking solution that's not a franchise, some license opportunity, it doesn't work, or Venezuelan selling a Venezuelan on some opportunity, and that first business fails, and then they start exploring franchising. So ideally we can kind of skip that whole 2-year failure period and help jointly educate the market on successful businesses that they don't have to go through that education experience.
I'm sure that you are 100% correct. Now, talk to us about the subscription fee that people have to pay.
Definitely, yeah. So free trial, and we're looping in existing businesses as well as franchise resales. So for 750, you can browse around as much as you can. You have access throughout the site. For vetted biz members, though, there's some data, key data that is behind the paywall, as well as downloading the franchise disclosure documents.
Mhm.
So for that, you have to pay more, $79.50 compared to 750 for the Simple Start membership. But there's a 7-day free trial. So if you like it um, and you're getting a benefit from it, great. You know, stay on. If you don't like it, no hard feelings. We'd love to hear what you didn't like about it so we can improve.
So, are you guys consider a franchise broker, or
We're
because
not.
people buy?
Vetted Biz isn't acting as a franchise broker. And with that, it allows us to write very freely about all these franchise concepts.
So, you guys are registered, an official registered franchise broker entity or company. Is that right?
For Vetted Biz, no. So
No.
like Subway doesn't pay us anything, McDonald's doesn't pay us anything, no brokerage fees, no advertisement fees. We generate most of our money through subscriptions, as well as we're developing some partnerships where if someone wants to talk to a franchise broker, someone wants to talk to a franchise lender, someone wants to talk to a bookkeeper, you name it, we will get compensated on making that introduction, but we don't act as the finance broker or the franchise broker.
Okay.
We're just kind of curating a pool of professionals that might be able to help you. But most of our revenue is coming from the subscriptions.
How relevant is the data? Is because I know this company's income investment. Well, the investment is the same. Do they show the income here that they're generating or not? Or it's just
Yeah, I mean, if you click on like Little Caesars, it should show what the average unit volume was for 2021 or 2020 at least, as well as what the owner compensation is. And we're further breaking that out from owner operator and semi absentee. And that should be out in February 2023.
this is fantastic. This is really great data.
The
I didn't know
payback
anything about
period. So it's like, imagine you invest $1 million, open up a Little Caesars.
Mhm.
How long is it going to take you to get your money back? 4
Yeah.
years, 5 years, 10 years? We did a recent study in Applebee's. It's 10 plus years to get your money back.
Wow, this is great. This is good stuff, man. This is really, really, really good stuff. And I'm sure that the data is similar across the board with most of these well-known brand, right?
Yeah, like I just recorded a video, the franchise 500 list for 2023. And it was like the top 50 of the top 500. A lot of them were these well-known brands that don't make any financial sense. Like,
Yeah,
why would you invest in a franchise system like KFC that closes more locations than they open? And that the payback period's many years. We're
mhm.
talking 7, 8 plus years.
Very interesting. Are people really analyzing that? Do they? I guess it's all about knowledge, right? It's about what you know.
Right now, they're not analyzing as much as I would hope. So, like, your mission is bringing more Latinos into the world of franchising, educating them, which I
Mhm,
love.
mhm,
For us, it's just everyone like, hey, don't buy a business based on emotions or what your friend said. Understand the financials because this is a serious decision
mhm.
that's up there with like deciding who you're going to marry for the rest of your life. Have the data and like, yeah, try to do something you like and you're passionate about, but it needs to make financial sense or your spouse is going to be super pissed. And I've heard of heart attacks when it goes wrong, divorces. So we want to avoid all that.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know the feeling. It's very, very interesting what you're talking about because I remember once I hired I guess a franchise guru when after I launched my brand and 5 years later I didn't feel comfortable. So technically I hired this guy to tell me what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong. So he said to me something that I felt like was very interesting. He said, oh, by the way, Mr. Alvarez, do you know that your franchise brand it is a lot more profitable than in McDonald's? And I said, no way. What are you talking about? No way. He says,
Yeah, I
well,
believe it.
he says basically what he said, what you just basically saying, hey, don't judge the book by its cover, I guess. Yeah, you see
Exactly.
that in McDonald's, you have to invest a lot more money. But at the end of the day, what is the bottom line? How much each owner are putting in their pocket, right?
Yeah, what are we talking? Like a tax preparation business? Like
Yeah.
what's the margin? Like a
So,
McDonald's might be 10, 15%
yeah.
bottom line.
Now the margin is huge because it's a
Yeah.
service. I mean, services usually the margin is huge because there is no the overhead is way less. You don't have to. I mean, imagine to prepare uh I don't know, one of those sandwiches, one of those like the Big Mac, all the ingredients, all of that stuff
Yeah, the cost of goods
because of good.
where, McDonald's will have like labor plus that and be like 55, 60% potentially. Where yeah, tax prep's just labor.
Yeah, but all of this is great, and I will recommend and ask anyone that is interested in buying franchises to take a look at this website right now. Let me switch here so this is the website. Better, what is it? Betterbiz.com, right?
Exactly. Yeah, vettedbiz.com.
And people, I guess, if they want to connect with you guys, they have questions, information, you guys have a number, how do they connect with you?
So like vetted biz, we don't act as an advisor. It's really self-service. So you
Self-service.
sign up and then like if you're a vetted member, like we can help you out. But if you're just going to the website, like we don't act as a franchise broker consultant. And with Visa franchise, if you're a foreigner, we're helping you every step of the way,
Mhm.
like a consultant. But for vetted biz, it's really self-service. But you can use the submit feedback button and do the free trial and reach out to us if you like it and we'll give you the support as much as we can.
This is fantastic. Now, why don't we switch now to your book? I know that you released a book. This is the first book that you launched. We're talking with Patrick Findaro. He is, are you the CEO, right? You are the CEO and founder.
So we don't have a CEO. Basically, my brother and I are co-founder. I'm more on the strategy, sales, marketing, content, and he's doing more the data, product, financials of the business, HR.
So you just recently released this book. I happened to find a copy of the book, which I just read it on my recent trip to Cincinnati, Ohio. Very interesting stuff. The book is How to Buy a Franchise Employees to Entrepreneurs in 12 Weeks. So, how to buy a franchise in 12 weeks. Patrick, talk to us about this book.
Yeah. So I think, again, that I want people to make business ownership. It should be like a financial decision. And yeah, there's the passion, purpose, and all that. But if you're not making the money and you don't have potential to make money, like why do it? Just go work at an NGO or do something else or keep that as a hobby. So, the first part of the book is understanding what you're looking to get out of the business. What do you really enjoy doing? What motivates you? What have you liked doing in your career in the past that you really enjoy? Is it mentoring young talent? Is it sales, marketing? Finding what you really excel at and what you enjoy to do, and seeing a franchise system that you could double down on that attribute, and then hire around, or maybe the franchisors helping out with some aspects of the business like lead generation, and you don't like lead generation, you just want to be managing people and doing the client service aspect of the business. So
So
that's the
so
first chapter of the book. And then, going from there, it's
just
like, who are your advisors? Like, who are you going to be working with? If you
so,
bought
so
a home
uh-huh,
without a realtor and you just went right to the seller, maybe you don't need a franchise consultant or broker, and you just go right to the franchisor, and
uh-huh.
that's how you prefer to work. If you use a buy side representation when you bought a home, maybe you're a better fit of working with a franchise consultant that's going to be with you every step of the way. The one non-negotiable advisor, though, I say, is a franchise attorney, because you are signing an agreement for 10 years, and that 2-3K fee is almost like buying an insurance policy. If things go bad, you understand the agreement, you negotiated some key terms.
So technically, what you have done is you divided the whole process of buying a franchise in 12 weeks. Why don't you tell us pretty much, just so people get an idea, weeks, what people are gonna be able to learn week
Yeah,
first
definitely.
week, second
So
week.
the financing options, I know you're on week
Don't
two.
tell
Week
me
three
everything,
is
because we want
advisor.
people to buy the book, right? We want people to buy the book, and I'm showing you guys this is Amazon website in case that you want to buy the book. Is very very affordable. I was surprised. What is it, 13
13
$14,
bucks for the
right?
paperback, and then the Kindle, we're always running specials, but it's as low as $2, as high as $8.99 on Kindle. So we're looking to spread the word. This was the work of over 1,000 interviews that I had in my team with franchisees and franchise founders. So
Wow.
we dumbed that down. We included 12 case studies, principally from franchisees, and it's our learnings throughout this whole process over the last 10 years that I've had in franchising.
Fantastic. Can you walk us through the 12 weeks so people get an idea? So I hope people don't get afraid and think that the process is too complicated. I believe that what you're doing is really making it easier for people, so people
Yeah,
don't
dumb it
panic and
down.
try to.
What is the key information you need to make an educated decision, and then start contacting the franchisor, verifying the information you received from the franchisor with actual franchisees, working with a real estate advisor together with the franchisor, wrapping up the financial aspect of the business, whether it's a 401k rollover, you're going to put your retirement savings in the business, or you're doing an SBA loan, and or friends and family, or just going tapping into your home equity line. There's all different types of ways to finance the business. So it's like week 2, you get your finances in order and understand what to do, and then close to the end, you're finalizing your finances, and then working with the attorney to then sign the franchise agreement. And week 10, week 12, you've signed the franchise agreement, and you should be commencing training pretty shortly, especially if it's a service-based business that doesn't require a big build out.
Well, I really enjoyed the book. Reading the book. I gotta be honest with you, because you gave so many different examples, so many different case stories. I guess that you did. Part of, I'm assuming they came through your interviews, and different franchisors, and even on the figured out the money aspect. I mean, I don't know what else, if you left anything out. I think I saw everything, any possible way in terms of investing in buying a franchise. You throw it all in that book. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, we put
from
everything
family
on the
members.
table, and we've had franchisors upset with us in the past, sending demand letters and all that. But I'm just reporting the facts, like what's on the FDD or what's being advertised.
Why?
But
Why are they doing that? I mean, what? They don't like the truth?
exactly, yeah, the truth hurts, man.
Yeah, I guess. But look, at the end of the day, we all are passionate for this industry, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, is being able to have people that really want to invest in any franchise concept, that they'll be able to make an intelligent decision, that they have all the tools. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, when I got into the franchising industry, I was completely clueless of what I was getting into. As a matter of fact, sometimes I think that maybe if I knew what I was getting into, I would have never done it,
It's a
because I
lot of
have
work
no
for
idea.
the franchisor, especially like, because imagine,
Oh
you
my
have a great profitable business and it's like not everyone is on board to growing it to the next level and having all these business partners. It can be really fulfilling, but you have to know what you're getting into. And you're obviously very well poised to advise, Latino or whoever that might be going into the franchise space, wanting to franchise their brand.
Well, I tell people that franchising is not easy. It's very, very complex, very difficult. It has a lot of moving parts. And even people that owns brand. I mean, how many Latinos do you know that, besides me, obviously, how many Latinos do you know that owns a franchise brand? There are not that many. And it's
Yeah.
surprised
I
because,
mean, I could definitely name a few. There are some quite big franchisees that are Latino. And even
correct.
like the Chick-fil-A operator I interviewed, I'm sure he's making 300, 400K a year, started out as a cashier,
Wow.
immigrant from Colombia. So
Really?
it's like,
Man, I would like to connect with her. It's a she?
definitely,
Yeah.
it's a he. So
It's a
there
he.
are, I mean, in Miami, if you don't speak Spanish, you're not really, it's hard to operate a business. So
Yep, yep,
it's pretty
yep.
much any franchise in South Florida. I don't know, 60% of them should be owned by Latinos.
No, definitely. Miami is a totally different ball game. It's the capital of Latin America, and I see the potential. I see the tremendous opportunity. But like I said, it's all about. I have to give you a lot of credit, and I want to congratulate you and your brother and your team for what you guys are really doing in the franchising industry. And I hope that in one way or another, you will be able to join the Latino Franchise Association. I will be able to collaborate. I will be able to really apply some of the knowledge that you have. So a lot of Latino, because we feel like if the Latino community embrace the franchising industry, let me tell you, it will be a totally different ballgame. There are 62 million. We are 62 million Latinos in the United States, right? We are
And
the
like
fifth.
known for hard working and like, I
We
mean,
are,
it's like what else
we are the
you if you're a hard worker and you're going into franchising, like as long as you choose the right brand, you're gonna do well.
we are the fifth largest GDP economy in the world.
My
In
friend told
well,
me that stat that works with on the fintech side.
yeah, no, that was released in September at the Latitude convention in San Diego. And very interesting. Like I said, we are a superpower group here in the United States that can really make I think that we can really help and elevate the economy of the United States if the Latino really embrace the franchising
And
community.
there's already been a success. There's case studies at the franchisee as well as at the franchise brand level.
Mhm.
Like you have the Mexican national Guillermo Perales,
Oh
who
yeah, he's
I don't know, he has 1,000 plus franchises, maybe the third largest franchisee in the US or world.
no, I think well, here he was the eighth, so he has over 800 different brands. As a matter of fact, I spoke to him, communicated with him last week, and he was invited to the launch of the Latino Franchise Association. The,
Very
the
cool.
reality is, you see, we have to do everything possible to create more Guillermo Perales in the Latino community, and he's aware of that. He feel like, oh my God, I feel lonely. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one at this stage, at this level. But once again, he has worked very hard. I mean, whatever he has, it wasn't given to him. He earned it. He worked hard for it, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
there are
it's
quite a
everything
few.
I've
There are
seen.
quite a few. There are quite a few Latino. Part of all of this association is also that is recognize them, is really bring them to the stage so they can serve as role model. I mean, there is so many opportunity. I've been also talking to our friends in the hotel industry. I mean, I'm everybody's surprised. How come there are not a lot of Latino embracing the hotel industry when all the hotels are franchise,
Yeah,
owned
you
by
have a bunch of
franchises.
South Asians, people that were born in India or their parents were from India, and some of them have empires, 100
It,
hotels that they're running.
it dominate what 60% of the industry, which
Wow.
I mean, it's not envy. It's just I feel happy for the Indian or Pakistani
Yeah.
community for what they have accomplished. Meanwhile, the Latinos own not even 5% in the hotel industry, and it has a lot to do with the fact that I don't know that many people that own Latino that own a hotel. I mean, it's really part of that. That's part of the problem. But now helps is coming on the way because I see that there is a Latina that launched the Latino Hotel Association,
Oh,
which is
cool.
very interesting. I met with her last week and she's doing a lot of different things. I'm trying a lot of different programs. So, look, at the end of the day, our goal is to enhance and promote franchising across the board. Once again, the book is called How to Buy a Franchise in 12 Weeks, pretty much. So you could find it in Amazon for what, $14. Just Google. This is the way I
Yeah.
did it. Just went over them and type how to buy a franchise. Boom. And automatically, I guess your ranking is moving up because the first time that I did it, you were like on the second page. Now you are showing up number 2, number 3. So that's good for you, man. The book is selling. That's great.
No, I appreciate it. And just I was curious, Rafael, because like we had years back, we had a Peruvian client that was looking to invest and open up like 5 franchises in Florida, but he saw with the capital to deploy, it was better to do that in Peru. So he signed like a 30-unit development agreement in Peru
Mhm.
with a pretty large restaurant brand. And there's potential whether it's in the U.S., but also Latin America, and bringing U.S. brands to Latin America. And I'm sure a lot of people on your podcast are listening not just from the U.S., but listening from all over Latin America. And there's huge
Oh,
opportunity to be had.
tremendous opportunity. As a matter of fact, I just came back from Puerto Rico. I was there this past weekend in the city of Ponce,
Oh yeah,
participating at the Expo Franquicia Caribe. Wow.
huh.
Very small, event, but there were like about 50 Puerto Rican brands that nobody knows here in the US. And that's part of the problem. We had to figure out a way how to bring those brands to the US. Interesting enough, I met the late, it's a lady, it's a female. I met the person that opened the first franchise in the island of Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
And even though it's in Puerto Rico, it's a Dominican lady, as a matter of fact, a Dominican that migrated to Puerto Rico, opened up the first franchise in Puerto Rico, and it's a pizzeria, it's a pizza shop. Very, very interesting. But there were a lot of great concepts. I was very impressed with what I saw, and I'm helping the group over Rico to continue in those type of events, to continue promoting franchising. And also, the next step is to bring all of those brands to the US and expand them and open on multiple those concepts. I saw about 50 concepts over there, franchise. Most of them, there were maybe like 5 out of the 50 that were from the US. The
Huh.
majority of them, they were from Puerto Rican brands.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a big opportunity, and it's the same. It's the same law, federal law. So I'm sure it makes the transition easier, stateside.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So we're running out of time, but I mean, I'm sure that you and I can continue talking for hours and hours without stopping. But what we're gonna do the same thing another time in same thing in Spanish, so we can really go after our Spanish population and maybe perhaps do it in Portuguese. I'm
Sem
sure that
dúvida.
you're
A
doing a lot
gente
of
pode
pushing.
fazer em português, em espanhol, como queres.
Yeah, next time in Spanish, and then we'll figure it out either Portuguese or perhaps French. I know that you have a very close person to you that is teaching you how to
Exactly.
improve your French,
My
right?
wife, my wife is French, so
Your wife,
oh,
yeah.
I love languages and learning about different cultures. So, and yeah, with the language, that's how you're able to really understand a culture.
That is fantastic. So, all right, let's leave it like that for now. I really want to thank you for taking the time. I know that you are a very, very busy person, Patrick, and I'm looking forward to continue working, collaborating with you, and let's figure out a way how we can really enhance the work that you're doing and now take it all over the Latino community because Latino is, I would call it an sleeping giant in the franchising world.
Without a
That's
doubt.
really what it is, right?
Huge opportunity there.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's all for today. Thank you once again for joining the Mr. Franquicia podcast. Don't forget to follow us in all the social media platforms and tune in. And we'll see you the next time. Until next time. Don't go, Patrick. Okay. Muchas gracias por escuchar nuestro podcast. Esperamos que la información haya sido de su agrado. Manténgase en sintonía, síganos en todas las plataformas de social media y visite nuestra página en el internet www.mrfranquicias.com. Hasta la próxima.